Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, really glad you're here today.
We are so excited to have you here as we are on another week of sharing a brand new update with you. Head over into the chat and let us know where you're coming in from. Of course, if you're joining us here live, we are excited to be with you as we are every week at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. We don't always get to make a landmark announcement, but last week and this week we are. So last week we talked about a brand new long-awaited feature in AttractWell, and that is calendar booking. So the ability for you to set up and share a bookable schedule with clients, with leads on your website. And you also have, as an extension of that, the ability to offer packages of consults, packages of calls, packages of classes, whatever the bundles of scheduled times you'd like to offer, name or sell. Those are things that you have now the ability to set up and offer with AttractWell. And today we are going to get into just that. So last week we talked about setting up your calendar. We talked about creating booking types. So instances of booking, maybe a lead type call, a discovery call, and then a different type of call for clients perhaps, and how you can sort of gate the availability of those for the people that they are intended for. Today, we are going to talk very specifically about bundling those sessions with you into multi-buy options, right? So if you want to offer 6 of something, 10 of something, and so on, you are in the right place. That's what we're getting into today. So again, head over into the chat, say hello, let us know where you are coming in from. And of course, let us know what you do. We're always excited to learn more about the incredible people in this community. Greg and I are going to be popping out a video here. We'll come back and join you here in just a bit. And today we are talking, of course, about how to sell and offer, even if you aren't selling them, packages, right? And how you can do that in AttractWell. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about how you can set up session packages, options for offering those packages, and we will dive into some use cases just to kind of give you some ideas and inspiration. Depending on what it is that you offer, you might make some specific setup considerations for how you construct your packages and offer them. So we're going to get into all that today. And I would really love to hear from you in the chat if you're here live about your use case for packages. So if you were to offer a bundle of packages, or is it for services? Is it coaching calls? Is this an add-on or an upsell to a program? Let us know what that looks like for you. And of course, if you came with any other types of questions today, regardless of whether they pertain to today's subject, you can add those to the Q&A. The guy that built the platform is waiting here to answer them. Greg is here. And of course, if it's something that we need to save to discuss during an open Q&A session after our training, we can do that as well. If you are watching this as a replay on our YouTube channel, attractwell.com/office hours, head over there now so that you can join us on one of these live calls on Zoom. This is a free call that you can join if you want to learn more about AttractWell, you want to get some insights into how to work smarter, not harder in your business. We've got you covered, and we have new topics. And of course, the opportunity to work together live every week. Speaking of, we do have 2 folks signed up for a live work review today. If you are here for your work review, pop over into the Q&A and just let us know that you are here for that. This is an opportunity that we offer every week at the close of our live call. So the second half, so we do 30 minutes of topic and then 30 minutes of Q&A and working together. If you would like to reserve some space in that second half of an upcoming call, you can do so here at attractwell.com/work review. If you would like for someone to just do work for you, that is also an option. Head over to attractwell.com/concierge to learn more about our team and get a quote for your project. All right, so in case you missed it last week, AttractWell now has built-in calendar booking and call packages. And we are so excited to share with you today how you can get started with the latter, setting up those call packages. Now, we aren't going to get into a great deal of detail about setting up the calendar and individual booking types. That is something that we covered in depth last week. So highly recommend that you check out the training from last week to get the scoop on that. We also have some really great brief videos in our help center and of course, some write-ups on that can help you as well. Now, before we get started, and I'm going to actually be showing you how to go over into an AttractWell account and get this stuff set up to sell. The first thing that we want to make sure that we've got is clarity, right? especially if you are not someone who feels super confident and excited about using tech, the more prepared you are before you show up to use the tool, the less stressful this whole thing is going to be. So what I recommend before you even log into AttractWell is in a word processor of some kind, notes app, whatever your preference is, write out the name of this package, describe what it is and what they get, determine the price, and know what your available hours are going to be to offer this package. Know what these things are before you go to use the tool, and you will have a much easier time. Now, the other question that you want to have clarity on as well is whether or not this is something that you will sell on its own, or if it's something that is going to be an add-on or in conjunction with another thing you sell. So are you selling a 10 course, or sorry, a 10 class package for a yoga studio, or are you including a free bonus workshop or two in with the purchase of a maybe a program, right? Is this something that is its own thing, or is it a part of something else? And then remember, you can offer your packages not for sale if that is something that you want to do. But if you want to sell something in AttractWell, it's really important that you make sure that you have Stripe connected. That is our connected payment processor. And you can make sure that you are set up by going to your account settings and clicking payment processing. That'll take you to where you want to go to get that done. All right. Now, again, head over to the chat. Let us know, what are you going to offer? I see session packages. Awesome. We've got, oh, very cool. Coaching call bundles. Fabulous. 3 sessions, 8 sessions, coaching. Oh, fantastic, you guys. So let's talk about this. You can offer not just calls, right? Obviously, a lot of us here are coaches. So we are offering coaching calls. So let's just say, for instance, you are a coach, and most of us don't sell our time by a single session. But if you do, you can certainly do that with AttractWell now, especially now that we have the calendar booking, right? But if you have a signature program that you work through with a single client where you meet with them 12 times over the course of 90 days, then that is a call package, right? You might not call it a call package. You might not sell it as a call package, but it is a part of a thing that you're selling. You're selling a program, and that program includes up to 12 calls with you that you might choose to schedule on a weekly basis, right? So these call packages allow you to streamline the delivery of existing offers that you may already have, right? And of course, you can offer something new. So obviously, you can offer a package of one-on-one coaching sessions for your private clients. You could, if you offer a membership or a program, have a bundle of either one-on-one or small group calls that are included with that program. It could also be an upsell from that program, right? You could, if you have a virtual or in-person yoga studio, you can sell a 10 class pack where they can actually schedule an upcoming class or the next 10 classes that they take. And that is all paid for and accounted for in a single bundle. You could bundle, let's say you're a massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner, you could bundle 6 sessions. This isn't limited to meeting on Zoom. This can be in-person stuff as well. This could also be, let's just say, for instance, you have a membership and you want to be able to offer a lead the opportunity to attend one of the workshops that you only offer to your clients in the membership. You can use this for that purpose as well. Basically, anything that you can schedule in person or virtual, one-on-one or group, that is scheduled, right? You can offer that right here. All right. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is create a call package. All right. So let's hop right over here to our dashboard. I am so very curious if you guys can hear right now. I live in New York City, and I'm on a major road. There's somebody outside that is playing Thriller so loudly. It's Halloween right now, so it's like apropos, but oh my gosh, that's so loud. All right, so let's go create a call package. So let's head right over here to the side in our dashboard, this side menu here. We're going to look for bookings. Now, last week we covered setting up your calendars and creating your booking types. Now, whether somebody has booked a one-off paid or free offer from you, or they've booked something that's in a call package, those are all going to show up under your booked meetings. But let's go ahead and create a call package so that we can get out there and offer it. All right, so I actually already have a 6-week strategy series that I have set up here, but let's just, for the sake of starting from zero, let me show you how we can do this. So we're going to create a call package, just like we would create a booking type. The setup for this is almost identical to setting up a booking type. So if you followed through with what we created last week, then this is going to be very familiar to you. Essentially, what we're offering is a booking type for a limited number of bookings, right? So this I will call my 10 class pack. Maybe it's for a yoga studio. These are hour-long classes. I'm going to use a custom location. This is my yoga studio address. Obviously, if you are using Zoom, you can use an existing recurring meeting, or you can actually have the system auto create a meeting for this type of package, right? So you do have those multiple options here. I'm going to use my yoga studio address here. And of course, I'm going to select the appropriate calendar. Maybe your yoga studio calendar is different from the calendar that you use to book private clients. If you are a yoga practitioner, or maybe this is massage, or massage center has different hours, right? So you can actually connect multiple calendars for this. I'm going to, nope, keep that white and give that a background color. Here's my 10 class pack. I'm going to describe it here. I can add a logo for it here again, just like we did with booking types last week. You can require phone number, show or don't show phone number, and you can request additional information if you're going to be using this as a standalone link that you share. If you're going to embed this booking instance into a page, I wouldn't worry too much about what's here, especially additional questions, because you'll be able to modify that and dial it in a lot better with pages. So when we get down to type of booking, this is a call package. We can specify the number of calls or sessions in this package. This is going to be 10. Now, if you have a sales page for this, so this is a 10 class yoga studio class pack. So studio in person, right? So these are 10 1-hour classes that they can book. There's 10, right? And the sales page that I'm going to be using for this, I can put right here, right? I don't have that made just yet, but this is where you're going to want to put the sales page, because once somebody has used up all 10 of their classes, you can actually automatically send them to a place to rebook that package, right? Or if you want to send them to something else. So if this is, maybe this is coaching, right? And after somebody completes this program with you and they have graduated on to the next level of what you offer, you could send them to a place where they're maybe sold a different type of package or a continuation of the work that you've been doing with them, right? So this is going to be sent to them after they have finished booking everything, and they might attempt to book again. All right. Now, again, here, when someone books, you do have the option to dial this in to the extent that you wish. This is something that you're going to want to pay attention to if you're going to be sharing a direct link to this calendar. If this calendar is going to be embedded in a page, don't worry so much about what's here. You can dial that in on the page itself where you have the calendar embedded. And you do have, again, a lot more options on that page. Now, just like we talked about last week, you are going to want to use your scheduling settings here, establishing your availability for this particular type of offer. And you can obviously book a certain number of days in the future. If this is a 90-day program, or if you, if this is 10 classes that they have to use within 6 months, then this number needs to reflect 6 months. If you want to do that math, that's the number of days in the future. And then the minimum notice for them to be able to book the session, you obviously can dial that in here as well. If this is for private clients, perhaps that you're meeting with one-on-one and you give them homework that you need to review before your call, then set this up as minimum 24 hours before they can book, right? You need a buffer time if you need a little time before, a little time after. This, of course, is for one-on-one and group calls that might be scheduled based on the client's availability. If you are offering something that is maybe, again, looking at this as a yoga studio with a 10 class pack, you're going to want to list the actual available time slots for your classes. So maybe there's a 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. class on Mondays. Maybe you have an additional one that you offer between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, right? Or sorry, 5 to 6. These are hour long, right? So they're only going to be able to show the times that the classes are actually happening if you're using this for like a studio. Of course, if you are, again, providing availability for your client to choose between a range of times, then this needs to just reflect your available time. All right. We talked about this last week, so I don't want to go too far into it. You do have email reminders that are set up to go out 24 hours ahead of time, as well as an hour ahead of time. You can modify this to your liking based on what you're booking. And you can choose to use text reminders as well. And you can do email and text follow-up, thanking them for attending, etc., if you want as well. And this would go out automatically a certain amount of time, in this case, minutes or hours after the call, email or text. If you are using text, highly recommend that you not only show phone, but require it. And that would be a setting that you want to include here. That way you can get those reminders going out to them the way that you would like. Okay, so that is how we set up our call package. Now let's get back over here to our slides so that we can move into the next phase. So now that we've set up our call package, we now need to share our package, right? So this is going to differ slightly based on how you offer this. But there is one thing that is true. In order for that calendar that I just showed you to work for anyone, that individual needs to have this package. Like they need to be enrolled onto this package, right? They need to have either been given it by you, they have opted into it, or they have purchased it through your system in some way. This, if you were to just take this link, right, and I'll actually show you what happens here. If you were to take this link right here and attempt, and somebody were to attempt to book on this pack, just without doing anything else, right? If they were to do that, you'll see what happens here. They can't. You're going to see an error message. There are no remaining appointments for you that are able to be booked. Please contact me if you have questions. So what's happening here is that person is not enrolled. Okay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what enrollment looks like and what your options are. But you do have, I should share, there's a caveat here. If someone is enrolled, they can go to a calendar just like that, and it's going to work fine, but they have to be enrolled onto the package. All right. So you have options. You can manually enroll your contacts onto a package. So let's just say, for instance, you haven't used call packages so far with a particular client, but they already paid for you, right? Because this is a new feature with AttractWell as of today, right? So you may want to use a call package like this for the duration of the work that you're doing with a given client. In that case, you may want to manually enroll them for a certain number of calls, right? You also can allow self-enrollment, meaning people can sign themselves up for a package, maybe from inside of a vault. This could be something that, again, you offer for free or paid, right? So landing pages, page forms, vault checkout, which you would actually use an automation for this. Or you could have them click an automation link in an email from inside the member area. There are lots of ways for someone to enroll onto a package, right, that you can provide. It all just depends on how you want to share, how you want to offer this. Now, once they're enrolled, they can use that direct calendar link or a page that has that booking calendar embedded to book their sessions with you. So let's go take a look at what it looks like to manually enroll someone onto a package. So I'm going to actually go and find, here we go. Here's a contact here. You want to scroll down on your contact past vaults. And you can actually see your upcoming meetings with this contact if they have any scheduled with you. And you can see their call packages. Now, no, there are no packages applied to this person. So I'm going to go ahead and click add. And I'm going to choose this 6-week strategy series. And I'm going to give access. Now, we've got a couple of options here. You can grab this link and send it to this person, right? You may want to put that into a maybe a saved reply or something like that. There's lots of options there for you. Just whoever receives that is going to need to have this call package with a package name and everything on their contact card. And when they go to book, they need to use the email address that they have with you, right here on this contact card. Now, you also have the ability to book calls with them. So let's just say you're on an intake call with a client and you want to go ahead and get all of your 6 calls scheduled. Now, they do have reschedule links. They have the option if they can't make it on that Tuesday, they can change it to Wednesday. Denny, yes, if that is an unpaid option. So this would be if you are offering this to someone who is maybe already under contract with you, right? Or if you are, if you're in direct sales, maybe you want to have a series of consults where your customer is using product and you're guiding them through product use toward their goals. This would be another instance where you might do something like this. So this is typically going to be an existing client thing, but you can actually go in and preset these appointments and schedule these just by going straight there, and you can schedule another, book another call in the package. And as you are booking those, you can actually see how many of them they have on the calendar. So now we can see that this one has 1 of 6 calls booked. I can actually see right here, here's my meeting that's set up. Here's the call package that it's for. I can reschedule or cancel. I can send them the attendee link if they can't find it for some reason. And then of course, under your booked meetings, you'll also be able to see all of the meetings that you have coming up. Cool. Okay. So now let's go back over here and take a look at a couple of more things that we want to do. So if we want to not just share that link, actually, let me show you how to share the link. And then I'm going to show you how to use a landing page to, so that this would be a free option. First of all, the link. So go to call packages. You can find that link on that contacts card, but you can also click get link from right here and send it to the person who is enrolled, right? And this could go into a campaign that is sent out to them after they sign up, right? Lots of different options, but this is going to be the link for them to book. You can also use the grab booking page. Now, I want to include, maybe I'm offering this for free. I'm going to include this, this option to book with me on a landing page. And by the way, even if you are only offering a single call, if this is something that is made available to the public, you might choose to offer a discovery call this way as well, because somebody can't go back and reuse the same link if they aren't signed up for a package of calls with you, right? So if there's only 1 call that they get in this package, and like they try to go back and reuse something, even though they got a free call with you, they can't book. They cannot book on your calendar. So there's another reason that you might choose to use this. So I'm going to go to landing pages. And Alex and Kyle, Denny's question was, would that manual enrollment work best if they're not paying? And it's true. All right. So going over here to our settings. So you obviously, if you're using a campaign, which you should, if somebody signs up for something, you should send them an email right away that says, hey, you successfully signed up for this thing, right? So if you are offering a call package, again, this might be a free thing, maybe a discovery call, then you can attach the booking link in the campaign here for them to go and select the date and time that works for them. And then you can give them access to the call booking package right here, right? There you go. So that's how you would set that up with a landing page. Again, that one does not allow payment. The other options that we can explore as well are using pages without payment and pages with payment. This is probably going to be the most common or popular way to share booking instances. So what we'll do here, it's very similar to sharing a booking event like we talked about last week on a page. You can also share a link or embed directly onto a page. So here's our 6-week strategy series. I already have a booking instance set up for this. It's a very, very simple page that I have set up here. You would use something like this. Let's just say if you were maybe going to have a discovery call, and then you're selling the discovery call, and this is just where they're checking out, right? Again, super simple, title, form, and then I've got the form set up. So let me actually just take a quick look at this, and I'll give you a walkthrough of what this would look like. This would be an instance of somebody who's not going to book their first call right now, right? They're going to book their first call after they have purchased this. So I've got actually got a coupon code I'm going to use here. And I'll sign up. And this is going to actually redirect me to a page where I'm able to make that booking. So we'll head over here to, I'll do November 8th, 12 o'clock. And of course, again, I need to use the email address on file, the one I just signed up with. So I've just purchased it and it's taking me straight there. So that's an instance of where you can purchase on a page. And of course, you can redirect. So I'll show you how I have that set up. Here, let me actually remove these. So here's how I have that instance set up. Under leads, well, first of all, under payments, I have payment options here, and I'm enrolling onto the call package, right? So this call package is here. I'm including tags. You should definitely include a campaign or an automation here so that you are, just in case they, something happened with their device and it didn't successfully redirect, you want to send them that booking link in the campaign, even if you are redirecting to it. So make sure that your payments are set up there if you're selling it. And then, of course, on the leads tab here, I'm telling them to fill out the form to get started, and that on the next page, you'll book our first call. And of course, you set that up however you'd like. Here we've got our fields. Maybe you want to ask some intake questions. And then, of course, after they register, the payment options are going to override this. But now let's talk a little bit about what this would look like if this were, if we wanted to embed on the page. So I wouldn't say on the next page, you'll be able to book our first call. So I'll say fill out the form below to get started and select the date for our first call. And then what I'll do here is I will show a calendar booking form. And I'll actually just go ahead and include that booking form right here. I'm going to put it below the fields. And then in this case, we want to redirect to just a confirmation page. Right? If you just have a basic, here we go, appointment confirmation, I'm going to use that one. And that's going to allow us to send them to the appropriate place. Because in this case, I don't need to send them to the booking form if the booking form is on the page, right? So let me save this. We'll view it, and you can see what this looks like here as well. There we go. We've got the information. You could have a longer form here, put your payment information in, and then they can actually go and select the date of the first call and sign themselves up. If you do choose to share the link to this on the sales page itself, just make sure that you aren't redirecting to the calendar also, right? Make sure that you are redirecting to a confirmation page. Now, if this were going to be free for whatever reason, you would not require payment. And then you would just make sure that, of course, if you want to have the calendar shown on the page, have that here or don't. And then either send them to a confirmation page if you're putting the calendar on this page, or just use this as a way for them to register and then send them to the booking event after. In any case, you are applying them to the booking package 6-week strategy series is the example I'm using here, but you just use the one that you want to use from the dropdown. All right, so there are other ways to do this. You can connect it to a vault that is in the advanced settings of a vault. or you can attach an automation. So with a vault, and I don't want to get too far into the weeds here because I know we've got a lot of questions to get into, and we can even explore in greater depth specific use cases as an entire topic of a future call. But just so you know, if you want to include a call package with a vault, you have a couple of options, and they all involve creating an automation that enrolls the contact onto the call package, right? So the step one for a vault period is going to be create an automation that enrolls them onto the call package, right? And then you can attach that at the point of sale on the vault. You could also attach that at the in the advanced settings, like the vault entry, when someone enters a vault for the first time, this might be applied to them, this automation. So you have those options there. And then, of course, if you are using the store, that is one of the many options that are available to you in the store setup. Now, let's get into some best practices here. If you're selling sessions, remember that you are going to obviously take payment. That's going to either be on a page at the Vault checkout or as a store listing. And if you're using a page, like I just showed you, you can add the booking calendar to that sales page if you want to allow them to book their call at the time of payment, their initial call. But you do also have the option to just have the sales page be the sales page and then redirect to the booking page, or use a campaign to send that booking page link to the client. All right, so our use cases, let's talk first a little bit about coaching and consulting call packages. What this would look like is really similar to what I have already shared here, this example that I've been following with this 6-week package, so 6-week strategy series. You might include more information here to make a more involved sales page if you prefer. If you're using discovery calls, again, you really don't need to have anything other than a rundown of what's there and an opportunity for them to pay, right? And remember, of course, you do have that ability to embed the initial call opportunity with this calendar right here on the sales page. The setup, let's just a couple of quick notes for setup for this type of package. If you are offering a package of coaching calls, if your program is I meet with you for 12 weeks, then you're going to create a 12-week package, right? And so you're going to add a call package. You're going to name it accordingly. This is going to be a 12-week program. Obviously, you will name yours better, select the correct calendar, select the correct Zoom meeting. This would be a recurring Zoom meeting. Select the amount of time, give it its description. And then what we're doing here is 12 calls. And then scheduling settings, we're going to be allowing a call per week for 12 weeks, right? So that far into the future, that number of days, what's 12 times 7? Anyways, you put that in here into this many days in the future. And then you want to give, depending again on how you're working with them, you might require 24 hours notice. If they, if they're not booking all ahead with you and week by week, they're booking or they want to get onto your calendar, you may require 24 hours because they need to send you stuff that you need to review, right? So, so you might choose to put that in here. If that doesn't matter to you, you obviously can modify this to your liking. If you need to make sure you have enough time before and after any meeting, put your buffer time in here, put the incremental availability here, check against your other calendars. We talked about this last week with setting some up as read-only that reflect potential conflicts. And then in your email and or text reminders, you might include additional information like, don't forget to send me the information you want me to review at least 24 hours before our call, right? And so this reminder is going to go out to them. And then, of course, they'll be able to send that stuff to you before you hop on with them, right? So that is an instance of coaching and consulting packages. Again, you don't have to offer the ability to book their first call when they pay, because you might not be framing what you're selling as a package of calls. A package of calls might just be part of what you're selling. So in any case, you want to make sure that at the point of sale of what you're selling, you are enrolling them onto that call package. And then you need to just be communicating however it is that you choose to, however you're designing that experience to get them the link so that they can be booking those calls. Or of course, you could book with them on an intake call. All right. Services are going to work more or less the same way, right? So you're going to, basically say it's this far in advance that you can book ahead of a call. It's this many calls. Give them the specific information that you need from them, and remind them to do the same for you, right? That's going to be set up almost identically, or more or less identically to how you would set up a coaching package, because these are going to be individual meetings that you'll have with that client, right? As you're going through your process of working with them, however you do. Now, if you're offering classes and workshops, right? So let's just say maybe you offer a workshop every month, right? So every Wednesday at 7 p.m., you have a workshop, and these workshops do cost money. You do have a membership, perhaps, where people get unlimited access to workshops, but maybe you also sell these workshops in a pack, like that yoga class pack of 10 classes, or maybe these are drop-in classes for digital workshops or something like that, right? So in that case, there are a couple of specific things that you want to look out for. You do want to set this up. So this would be a Wednesday workshop. It meets for an hour. And this is going to be a package, like a drop-in package of 6 workshops. Want to send them to the sales page here to get them to go buy another if they run out. And then, of course, in our availability, this is where this becomes really important. If you are a yoga studio, if you have set hours for a particular offer, or if you're offering a workshop that is, this would be, I'm not available. These workshops are only Wednesdays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., right? Then this is going to be it, right? Like if this is the only thing that you have here, it's the only thing that they're available to book. So in this case, they would be coming in and booking for this week, but maybe 3 weeks after, right? And then you also want to make sure that you are putting a limit here, right? If these are 6 drop-in classes that must be used within a year, then you need to put 365 days here, right? So that is how you would approach offering the class or workshop packages. Also, make sure if you are offering a class or workshop package that has, again, like that set day of the week kind of instance. Again, this is going to work for you if these are like yoga classes, if you are offering workshops that are virtual or in person, then the availability is going to be what's here. And then you need to communicate that on the sales page, right? So let them know classes are Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. every Wednesday. And you can get, this is your 6 class pass to drop into any of these Wednesday workshops, right? And then you could also say, and by the way, if you would like to have unlimited access, join our membership, right? And then you send them over to the Vault where they can purchase the Vault membership and then get access to all of them that you do, right? So that's just an instance, right? And you guys, obviously we can talk about more specific use cases. Let's see what kind of questions we have coming in here. And we'll get into that. All right, Alex and Kyle, if I'm offering a 2-day workshop that's being sold on a funnel page, would I use the call package group session or schedule as an event? And if call package, will those purchasers automatically be RSVP'd in the calendar? So if they are using, all right, let me rewind this just a little bit. You're offering a 2-day workshop. Is this a recurring 2-day workshop? Just let me know in the chat. Is this a recurring 2-day workshop? Like you'll do this every month, every quarter, or is this like a one-time thing? Because basically okay, one time. So you can absolutely use the call package for this, or this actually wouldn't. So it's a 2-day workshop. So I would, depending on how you're planning to sell this, you might not even need to use the packages feature for this, right? You could create a page that sells the 2-day event and then send them all of the information that they need when they purchase. Unless you have, it's just a 2-day event and people have the option to pick day 1 or day 2, right? If you're doing like an either or, then I would use, and I wouldn't even use a booking package. I would use a booking type, right? I would use a booking type. I would go in here and, obviously determine how many people can sign up for it, right? Like, is there a max? Here's a group meeting. Is there a max number of people who can sign up, etc. But it sounds like just for this one-off thing that you're doing, obviously, should you choose to make it a more regular thing that you're doing, then using like the calendar booking feature would make a little bit more sense. But honestly, Alex and Kyle, you could keep it really simple by just creating a basic funnel for this where they're paying for that 2-day workshop. And then you send them a date-based campaign. You could, go to, here's ical.maru.com, create an ICS file here. And that actually will give them access to putting this thing onto their calendar. And then of course, using your campaign that's attached, you can send reminders. But yeah, once you get into something that's more of like recurring, that would make a little bit more sense here. Or if it's something that people could book at multiple different times, right? If they needed to choose between A and B. Yeah, here, I'll pop that in here. This is really useful if you want to create, there we go. If you want to create pop that in here again so you can see what I'm talking about. If you want to create a calendar invitation, and this could be for recurring things. I love doing this for group coaching, which is awesome. You do, of course, have the ability using this feature to have people enroll, right, for group coaching also. But it just kind of depends on how you want to execute it. But anyway, if you want to create like a one-off situation and you're not using our calendar booking feature, then that's a free tool that'll just provide you with a file that you can upload to your file section in AttractWell and send out via, you could link to it just like you would a PDF. All right, let me see what else I'm missing here. All right. Would you also use the manual enrollment if their calls are part of a program, like a 12-month program having 24 calls? Then who would schedule since they're the same days and times each month? So if this package is a part of a program and they haven't already booked it, then you're just going to attach this to the point of payment, right? So if this is a 12-month program where you've got 24 calls, you are going to, at the point of payment, enroll them in this package and add them to the vault and apply the campaign and all of the other things that you would be doing when they purchase, right? And then on your initial call with them, just make sure that you go through and make sure that you're scheduled out for the rest of them, right? So I would have that be part of your onboarding process where you could go in and actually manually do that. You could actually choose to not send them the calendar link at all. And, based on what you guys agree upon on your call, you schedule those. And then of course, if they need to cancel or reschedule, they can. All right. Transitioning, this is Courtney, transitioning my current clients' appointments from another platform. Well, I have to put it in as a package form. If so, is there another option to put them in as every month on the second Tuesday? So, Greg, I would actually be really interested to hear your feedback on this one.
Sure. Yeah. So there is not currently the recurring one. I mean, if it's set up like that, I mean, one thing you could probably do here, I don't know, is it ongoing? I mean, you could do it a call package at a time, I suppose. You could go in and book those calls in advance if you want. That might not be ideal. Let's say there's 6 of them. Go in there, pick every Tuesday, book it for them essentially, and then they would have them in there. But there isn't the recurring option at the moment. But you would be able to book on their behalf if you were setting it up for them, and not give them the link, for example.
So what we could do in this instance is go to booking packages here, and then you create an instance, and it might just be for that individual client because you are transitioning. Maybe you streamline this and it's a little different for future clients, but based on the number of calls that they have left with you, you would set it up for that number of calls. And then instead of sending them to the booking page, you would go ahead and just replace the bookings that you have from the other platform with bookings here, right? So just replace those. And then you've got them set up. All of the calendar stuff is in here. Depending on how far out you have stuff booked on the other platform, One of the things that I did actually was I went into Calendly, and I'll show you what I did because I'm fully out of Calendly now, with the exception of a couple of people who are stragglers that haven't found the link yet. So we aren't going to need to have this for much longer at all. But basically, what I've done is I've created basically an identical booking instance in Calendly, and I have linked to the booking type or to the call package, et cetera, for that client. So if they find themselves, for whatever reason, Calendly just does not want to open on my thing here. But basically what I'm doing is I am eliminating my future availability on Calendly. So there are no more hours that can be booked with me on Calendly, but in the description of the individual event, I'm saying to book with Ashley, go here. And you click that link and it takes you to, this one, right? Or whichever one it's supposed to be, right? So now they go here and they can bookmark this link if, that's one that they have had access to. All right. For the scenario she's using now, where do you limit how many people can purchase the workshop? So you do have the option, if you are selling on a page, to limit the number of sales, right? So in your payment setup, there is a maximum number of sales allowed. That's one way to do it. The other way, I'm not sure that we have this on the packages themselves. Let me see. Probably is, just because they can be. No, these are, well, so call packages are really intended more for one-on-ones, the way that this is set up. But if these are classes, like group classes, and you're selling it, just know that you can use the maximum number in the sales or the payment setup on the page, right? So that's going to be under settings. Let me find this here real quick because I have this set up with payments. So it's going to be under the page settings and under payments, max number of sales. So that's actually where you would want to gate that here if you only want a certain number of people to be able to purchase that instance. All right, my 2-day workshop is a single offering, then I want the calendar to close after that week. So there are date-based instances in the here, if we go over here to back to bookings, I believe that's going to be more like booking types, because that's a one-off thing. So add booking type, and you can actually create specific here's a group meeting, here's the maximum number of people who can book a time slot for that particular meeting. And under scheduling settings, you can very specifically say, group meetings on X day of the month, right? So lots of different options there. Or of course you can, specify calendar dates. But again, in a lot of these cases where you just have like a one-off thing, it's you don't really need to use the calendar booking feature for like a 2-day workshop that you're offering once. You could just use a funnel for that, right? So landing page sells it, or page sells it, you take payment, and then you send them the details via a campaign. Okay, thank you so very much for your patience. I've got Maureen and Rebecca here today. So Maureen, let me bring you out. Are you still here? Let me know if you're here. Actually, if you're here for a review, pop your hand up, because you might not be here with the name that I see you here, Rebecca. Awesome. And let me see. Yeah, Maureen, if you are here, also please let us know. All right, Rebecca, I'm going to go ahead and bring you out. Hey, how can we help?
Hi, thank you for answering our questions. We are just starting to get into AttractWell, and we've been using Active Campaign for several years. And I'm just trying to set up our first, I think you call them messages. We're used to calling them campaigns, but like once a month emails that we send out. Mm-hmm. We are trying to get our templates kind of set up. We like the style that we have now, kind of the way they look. And I'm just trying to get those set up. And I was wondering if you had, I guess, any guidance. I've watched a couple of your YouTube videos, and I'm not 100% sure that it's possible to recreate what we exactly have now.
Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can find. So generally speaking, it's going to depend, right? Let me
Mm-hmm.
log into, let's see, what is there a, trying to find your account in here. Is there a business
Oh,
name
it's under
here?
Origami Day
Okay.
or Samantha Lane.
I see. Okay, perfect. I wasn't sure. Okay. All right. So generally speaking, there are best practices, right, where it comes to sending emails. And the unfortunate thing is that the prettier they are, the less effective they tend to be in terms of making it past the filters and
Mm-hmm.
being received and acted on, unless of course you're selling goods. Like if you're selling shoes, you do need great aesthetic motifs and pictures of shoes and stuff. But if you're selling services, if you're a personal brand, you're selling ideas, an email that reads and looks more like it was sent from a colleague is going to do 100 times more than something that's really pretty, that looks like something that a shoe company might have sent out. So my guidance for and you'll find that that is generally my guidance when we're talking about creating newsletters and things like that. But what I recommend that you do is under content library, if you go to saved replies, you can build out the format more or less of the newsletter that you want to create. This is also, there's so much you could do here, because saved replies can go into lessons and online classes. They can be modular. It doesn't have to be the whole email. It could be just a section of an email that you might include sometimes and not others. Lots of different options where that's concerned. But essentially what you're doing here is you're giving it a name, of course. So this might be the monthly newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to put the subject line in here, but you certainly could put some kind of placeholder there. And then here, this is where you would format this out. And there actually are some templates here where you can kind of click and replace,
Nice.
just with format. So there's, some on the side and you could build, right? Like this is, oops. You can actually add to and delete. And then once you have it the way you like it, then this becomes something that you can use in the future as a saved reply. So some of the features that you might find, in like, maybe I don't have quite as much experience with the building of marketing emails, like an ActiveCampaign, for instance, outside of the format that I'm advocating, which really is like, this looks like an email from a colleague.
Mm-hmm.
But like Flow Desk and stuff like that, where it's got this picture background and all of these like super aesthetic involved things. They feel really nice to create and send. They just really aren't as effective as you want them to be. So if you want to create something that is visually formatted, that does incorporate things like images, highly recommend that you just kind of play around with a single saved reply like this, so that you get the look and feel that you want. And then basically what you're doing is, month over month, you're going into Canva, you are, more or less you're using the same image files, right? So this would be the same resolution, and you're going to replace this once a month, or maybe this one is for your business logo and you don't change this, but these other ones that you would change out. And so you would just be clicking to replace them and swap them out every time you send out a new newsletter. So that's more or less it. And there is actually a pretty-ish version of something like that we have included in a previous training, and I can show you where to find it. And it actually has a resource bundle that you can download, including Canva templates. So you've got like a starting point. Yeah, here we go. Creating, scheduling, and sending newsletters. So this one right here is where I would very likely go. And pretty sure, if I'm recalling correctly, yep, there's a resource bundle right here that you can claim that actually has a saved reply that you can work from.
Perfect.
And it has
Thank you. I will definitely check that out.
Awesome. Were there any other questions?
Yes, actually, I do have kind of just a really quick follow-up question for that.
Sure.
When we send the emails, I think I know why this happened. I sent a test email and we do not have a domain connected to our AttractWell yet. And so when it sent out the test email, it had, sent from mailer at blah, blah, blah. I'm guessing if we connect our domain, that's going to go away, right?
Yes. Well, it's yes and. So you will, yeah, when you connect your domain, you also want to make sure that you have an email address from that domain, right? So not from a Gmail or Yahoo or what have you. So like hello at whatever the domain name is or something to that effect. But when you reach out to our team about getting that connected, we'll also be able to set up a mail server for you, Greg, you would do a better job of explaining this. Basically, we're able to make you look good.
Yeah, I can hop in there. I just put a link to a help article about it that explains a little bit more on there. But yeah, you can reach out to support. If you don't even have to have your domain connected to your website necessarily, although if you have one, you might as well do it. But as long as you have an email address with a domain that you own, we can create that custom mail server for you. And then that creates changes the from address to your actual email address and then improves deliverability and all that good stuff.
So then
that's
do
free.
You guys do the DMARC and DKIM and all of that stuff, or are we, okay, got you.
It's sort of a shared thing. So for our mail server, yes, we set that up, but we can check it, just make sure that it's set up right on your actual email. Like if you have Gmail or whatever your email service is, we can, if you ask, the team can check those out to make sure that yours are set up correctly on your main domain. But we do that for the mail server portion of it. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Glad we could help. All right. Did we hear from Maureen? Let's see her here. I think, let me just double check here real quick. If anybody has a question or if you would like to chat through the question that you have, pop your hand up and I would be happy to bring you out. We do have just a little bit more time before we pop off for today. Let me see. Hey, Courtney, how can we help?
Hi, I am transitioning over all of my clients into the AttractWell from another platform. And there are a couple of things that I am curious to know. One, I do a pre-call form and a post-call form in the other platform that I have. And what it does is it automatically generates it a day or two before or an hour within the time frame. I don't know that I see how to create that form in AttractWell so that it can automatically be sent. That's my first question.
Okay. So you're wanting to send a form, but conditional to the booking times, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So let's say their coaching call is today at 3:00. Then they definitely get their reminder 2 days before that they have the appointment. 2 days before they also get the pre-call form. And then an hour after the appointment starts, a post-call form is automatically generated so that they get it as soon as the call is over.
Got you. Okay. So I think that wrapped up in there is a really great wish list item that we could maybe consider where in addition to, and let me just go back over to my booking here. So in addition to, we could do this for call packages or booking types, the email or text reminders before or the follow-up after, maybe sending, well, actually, let me see, that's when they book, there's a campaign. So perhaps what we might...
What comes to mind for me, if you don't mind me hopping in here, you could put the form in here, the link right in the reminder. Like, hey, make sure you've got this form filled out. And then there's a one that sends after too.
Yeah. So so there is an active available, I think probably really fine workaround to what you're talking about right now. But I think that like maybe being able to do something a little different between the different reminders, because basically what we're doing is we're sending the same reminder 24 hours ahead of time, an hour ahead of time, etc. So yeah, definitely, like Greg mentioned, pop a link to the form right here, right? And that needs to go out 24 hours. Hey, make sure you filled this out before we get onto our call. And then of course the follow-up, you do have the option here as well within minutes or hours after the call to email or text a link as well. So you can actually send a form before and after, and have that be something that's automatic. It's not going to gate the call from them. You know, not sure if that's important, but yeah, you are able to do that as much as 24 hours ahead of time to send them something. I actually do this. I request that they, you know, if there's something that I need to see that they want me to review, I'm requesting that they send that 24 hours ahead. So I'm not using a form for this, but I am requesting that here. But that is also going to go out, you know, an hour ahead of time, or if you have, you know, a third reminder of some kind, it's going to be the same message each time.
Okay. That, I guess I hear a workaround on what I'm used to doing with the other platform, which potentially could be fine. And yet what I am curious to know is there a way to create a form within AttractWell that that automatically is sent to them, and then those responses I automatically get without having to reference an email or anything like that? Because currently, okay, that's what I needed to know.
Yeah. So that's going to be, so what you're going to do right here in this email reminder or the text reminder or both, you're going to put a link to a published page in your account, right?
Okay.
So the page that you're going to create is going to be a call intake form. So I'm just going to create a blank page here. And everything here is happening in the form itself. So I'm actually just going to put the form on the page. So here's a 1 column, no header. I'm going to delete what's here and add a form tag. Under settings, I am going to, this is by link only, it's only for clients. This is a pre-call intake. And then under, see, I'm going to remove header and footer, keep things focused. All right, so leads here, message to show on capture form. This is where you give instructions. So fill out the form below completely, at least 24 hours before, I cannot type today, before our scheduled call. All right, and then we can, under the form here, add as many questions as we desire. And these can be short answers, they can be long answers, they can be multiple choice answers, they could be pick one or pick many. You can edit those lists and, you know, whatever that is, right? Are you A, are you B, are you C, pick one or pick all, right? These are all going to go into their past actions. And the past actions on their contact are a field where you can see, you know, what emails were sent to them, what emails did they open, and if they fill out this form, that's going to be there as well. And the neat thing is if you were to include this form with the, like if you were to actually embed your calendar booking here, and then maybe instead of just making a link available to them to book at any point in the future, you're sending this out, like maybe after you've had a call, you're setting this up for them. And so they're basically filling this form out and booking their next call at the same time. You could do that as well. But yeah, if you wanted to create a form, you would put whatever your questions are here. These are multiple, you know, just however you want to set them up. And you can make them required, etc. And here we'll just take a quick look at what that would look like on the page. I said quick. I clearly need to do something with Safari today. No, you see where I'm going with this.
You don't, yeah, so it's all good.
Yeah,
it
so
makes sense to
the
me
page.
because this is what I did when I used to do Google. So it reminds me a lot of what I did when I was using Google before going to the platform that I'm on now. So this makes sense and I can make that work. Thank you for that, Denny. As well as, okay, so when they populate, how would I access them?
Yeah, so when somebody fills this out, you are going to be notified that somebody filled this out. But when you go to their contact, under past
Okay.
actions, let me actually go
Okay.
where I can demonstrate this for you maybe more effectively.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, so if we go to past actions under, I'll just go back to this contact here. You're going to be able to find, it's going to say note, and then all of the
Okay.
questions that they that were asked and answered are going to show up right here.
Perfect. And then I was the one that asked the question about the pre-bookings. All of my clients on our initial call, we book out their appointments for their entire package, much like what
Okay.
Denny said. If they have a 6-month or a 12-month, all of them are every month on the second, let's say second Tuesday. Every single month on the second Tuesday, they are scheduled and they know it. And it kind of just puts us all on autopilot. So they don't have to worry about scheduling their appointments, and neither do I. And there's a lot of pros to that. Haven't seen any cons to that yet at this point. And so I tend to manually put all of their appointments in as soon as I'm done with their initial call.
I think that's a good
And
move.
so, yeah, it's an excellent move. It just really helps with everything. So, so I love that we actually have this option for being able to have all of our meetings and everything scheduled. I'm so grateful that that happened before I came on board for AttractWell. So I'm looking forward to transitioning. And oh, another question. I actually do all my calls through Zoom. And so right now I created a bit.ly link for them to access the Zoom. It's just automatically in there. I did see how when you created the appointment that it does have that link in there. So that's basically the same thing, I think. Am I seeing that right?
So what I did transitioning,
Okay.
I have some, it might be actually the one that I have on the other platform. Bear with me just a second. I have some folks that are on an existing package where they can still book with me, and I have sent them the well, I have, like I mentioned before, if you go to my Calendly, the links that they used previously, there's no availability, and there's a link that says book Ashley here, click here, and it will send them to one of these booking instances, right? So if I go over to my booking types here, yeah, this would be an instance of one that that I've used previously. Now, this is client calls. This is a recurring Zoom meeting. Oh, I thought I had a different one set up here. Okay, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Like I had a different Zoom meeting that I was using for something else. Oh, you know what it is? It's actually, it is in the regular AttractWell. Okay, it's in the regular AttractWell on the booking for this call, right? So if you sign up for a live work review, let me go down here. If you sign up for a live work review, you need to go to this, like this Zoom link, right? And so the location for this is not the Zoom that's down here. This is actually a webinar link, right? So if you have other locations that are established for existing clients, like if you're still, you know, moving out of a different Zoom, et cetera, or if you have another link that maybe they have saved and you don't want to confuse them, you can use a custom location and put a URL in here. But the easy path is to meet using Zoom, and then have, you know, a couple of different types of recurring meetings, maybe for the different booking instances. It can auto create it for you. Or you could do like what I do, where I have, and I actually keep these saved in my favorites. I have lead calls and client calls. These are recurring Zoom meeting links in AttractWell. One is for lead type calls, the other is for client type calls. And they're the same. Like, so any private client call is going to utilize that same Zoom meeting recurring link for private client calls. And then something that might be for a lead is going to go to one that's for lead calls. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it does. And so I would basically create it. So like my client calls, all my client calls, I would put them under the header of client calls as a booking. Am I seeing that right?
You would create the Zoom meeting or allow the booking setup to create the Zoom meeting for you that you would call client calls. So what I have here, yeah, if I look under my Zoom meetings, I only have recurring meetings. And I have the private client calls and I have non-client calls, right?
Okay.
And so these are just in my Zoom meetings. And I just pull these from the drop-down menu. If I'm making an instance that is a booking that's available to the public, I'm going to be using this one. And then I am actually able to very easily just click right here on lead calls, right? If my calendar pops up on my desktop, I click here, I'm good. I don't have to go navigate to it in AttractWell. It's right there. And then if it's, you know, if I know it's a private client call, then again, I've bookmarked the stop meeting link or start meeting link, so I can go straight there. And then of course the booking system itself is going to send them to the correct meeting for them to join, right? The email, text, however you have it set up, it's automatically going to include the link here.
Okay. Okay. Here I grow.
Yes. Yes, I love it. Yes. Fabulous. Well, yeah, keep us abreast of how things are coming along for you. And, you know, if you need more support in your transition, let us know. I think that transition focused content would be very well appreciated by many in this community, especially if you are working your way out of different platforms that others may have been using. So that's a call to you and anyone else who is working on transitioning out of a platform. If you would be open to sharing that experience with the community, we can do a call here together and kind of discuss what a game plan for transition looks like. Because if you've done it, it's kind of likely that I probably have too, because I use nothing but AttractWell now. So yeah, thanks for coming out.
So definitely, I'll probably want to do that. I have a good gap between now and when my clients are, they're so programmed with what I've been using that it would be nice to do it quickly and seamlessly as possible. I understand there's going to be a learning curve on all of it, so I'll definitely reach out.
All right, sounds good. All right. Thank you guys for sticking around. There's so much to learn and grow with here. And of course, again, if you are, you know, in the process of transitioning from a platform and you want to get some pointers and you'd be willing to maybe share a little bit of that experience with our community, reach out to me, Ashley@attractwell.com. Obviously, we'll help you, period. But it would be awesome for us to be able to share that experience with the community so that others can benefit from it. So thank you guys for being here, for being amazing people, and for giving us the opportunity to serve you in the amazing work that you do. We will be back here same time next week. Till then, have a great week, everybody.